Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Free Gift Friday. My name is Melanie McSally. I am your profit optimization and technology expert. And like I said, we're here with another episode of Free Gift Friday where you bring you something for free on Fridays related to streamlining and optimizing your business. We have lots of free stuff to give you today, and we will start with a $1 million network connection. So let me introduce to you my fabulous co-host, Mr. Daniel Meyer. Why don't you tell them who you are and what your specialty is?
Awesome. Well, first of all, let me say thank you very much for having me on your show. It's an honor to be here. We've been working together for over a year. We've shared stages in some amazing places, traveling, and it's cool whenever we chat because we both really are in technology. We both have a deep background in anything to do with data, technology, trying to innovate using all the different things we have available to us. And one of the areas where I found technology can be a great blessing to a business is virtual staffing. So the idea of having a virtual assistant that can basically work from anywhere on the planet to help you run your business has been something that I've enjoyed doing for quite a while. And I found it very successful. In fact, I launched my first business back in 2011. And I spent the first year kind of spinning my wheels, trying to do everything and not getting anything really done. And it was getting really frustrating. And I realized, I needed help. So I hired a couple of virtual assistants, and then just things started, falling into place. And I was able to grow that business to be quite successful to the point where I actually decided, what I'm going to do is launch a business just to be able to provide virtual assistants to other people like us. So people that are business coaches, speakers, experts on certain kinds of areas where they want to talk to people about their intellectual property, and they want to share things, they want to be that expert and help a business, they should focus on that. But everything else you have to do to run a business, you can delegate a lot of those things to a VA. So when it comes to trying to improve your processes in your business, one of the things that you could definitely start with is figuring out what are the things that have to get done, but you don't have to do yourself, and delegate them to a VA. So that's really my story in a nutshell.
Awesome. So you've already touched upon this a little bit, but let's talk about it just a little bit more. We focus on helping businesses streamline and optimize so they can really leverage all their assets to achieve maximum profits. So how does having virtual assistants really help them with streamlining and optimizing their business?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is it frees up time. What I found is that what we're able to do is let people focus on what they do best and take away all the busy stuff. So, we can basically get them out of busyville. And, for a lot of people, they can't optimize their business because they're too busy doing things that are manual, repetitive, routine, things that you could do one of two things for. You could either delegate to somebody or you can automate. And whichever route you go, the idea frees up your time. For example, what I do in my business, I really am focused on, and you froze up again. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, I'll keep going. Yeah. Couldn't you cut that, or do we need to
No, you can keep going.
how do you do this? Okay. So basically, what you do in a business is you figure out, as you talk about all the time, what are the things you're doing in your business that you need to leverage having something or someone else do. And I found that, in what we do, there's like several things that people don't think about a VA can do. And that's really what I wanted to offer today is when you think about trying to optimize your business, these are things that normally you wouldn't think of a VA could do, that maybe you could give one of these things to a VA to free yourself up to get you going where you want to go.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. It's funny because I help businesses automate, and one of the things that really slows me down in helping people automate their business is them giving me information. So I give them a to-do list, and then it takes quite some time for them to get those answers back to me. And so oftentimes, if they have a virtual assistant, I will just say, can I work directly with your virtual assistant? Because 9 times out of 10, I'll get the information faster.
Right, exactly. And that's what I find a lot of people in our industry are really benefiting from VAs, because they're people that want to be out there speaking to people, networking, growing the business, being in the face of what they're doing. I mean, they're living their dream and sharing their passion. And the last thing they should be doing is building a bunch of images, sending emails, doing a newsletter, all that technical stuff that you can have somebody else do to free you up to do what you want to do, which is what we're doing right now, right? As both of us are having this conversation, we both have VAs that are working right now on other things. And that's really the beauty of virtual staffing is you can always get stuff done no matter how productive you are in your day. Your business always gets things done. And that's I think the most coolest thing about virtual staffing.
Awesome. So I have the pleasure of actually knowing what your free gift is. And, all this valuable expertise and just having you on the show is free value in and of itself. Like I said, $1 Million Network connection. But recently, you and I worked together because I felt it was time to actually start replacing the things that I felt I needed to do, right? My own expertise of automating and scripting, and it took us a while to find the right person, but we did, and it's going great. So that leads me into your free gift, with I just happen to know what it is, and so why don't you have the pleasure of telling people what it is?
That'd be great. Yeah. So, really what I want to offer to your audience today is a couple things. First of all, for the free gifts, I'm going to share with you some tips, some secrets really that I use to be able to help businesses grow using a virtual staff. And there's some tips that really aren't things that you would normally associate with a VA. I mentioned this before. This is the kind of thing that will make a big difference. And really, there's some of them that some people are going to go, wow, I never thought of that before. So I'll start with a few of those. And one of them is trying to really be consistent with what you do on social media. Anybody can do a live, anybody can, post things on Facebook and share things. But what really escapes a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs especially is being consistent. And I found that there's a couple things that are really, really important when it comes to social media. One is that even though your audience will probably consume what you create when they want, in the back of their head, they expect things to be kind of regular. So if you start dropping a video on YouTube every Tuesday, and then it shares across your social media, they may not watch it every Tuesday, but they'll know it's there every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And then that will kind of build up some kind of expectation and then satisfaction when they consume what you create. And that's something that a VA can do that people kind of underestimate, that don't think about, how important it is to have somebody else do it for you. Because if you're like us, and like many people that'll be watching this talk, is that you have a crazy lifestyle because you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. You very rarely have 2 days that look exactly alike. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're doing webinars, maybe you're on an online, seminar, but it's hard every Tuesday at 2:00 for you yourself to drop a video on YouTube. But a VA, that can be their primary job function. That's one of those tips that I think people just overlook a lot. They think, I got to get on social media, I got to have my branding, I got to have this and this and this and this. And they overlook the fact that the most important piece is consistency. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what, I think I found to be really helpful in my business, is that when we first started doing the whole work from home thing, I'd always had this goal of setting up a YouTube channel, but I was always like, not yet. I'm doing a lot of live events. I travel a lot. My primary way to connect with new customers and to build my network is through stages. But I thought, well, if we're going to be home for a couple weeks, maybe I'll start a YouTube channel. And here we are, 7 months later, I've created 80 videos on my YouTube channel. And I just, everything that I think is important that someone should know about virtual staffing, about working from home, about using technology to optimize their business, I talk about for a few minutes. And the cool thing about it, and this is the second tip that I'll share with you, is all you should be doing as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is doing some of the content yourself. Record a video, look into a camera, record yourself talking. And that's it. You drop that file into the cloud, your VA picks it up, your VA adds intro and outro music, they do the graphics, they package it so that it has a feel to it that you like according to your brand. They put it out there on YouTube, they share it across social media, they track the metrics to see what's working and what's not working. They build the engagement, follow up on comments, follow up on likes, invite people to, subscribe. All that happens after all I did was spend 10 minutes talking to the camera. So really that's the second piece that I think is super important, is that you can delegate almost everything, which enables you to be your most creative. If you can focus yourself mainly on creating valuable content and let other people package it and share it, it frees you up to create even more valuable content, which is super, super important. So. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do you have any other tips for us?
Yeah, so the last one I'll talk about really, and I have a bunch, and so if people want, I'll talk about how to contact me in a bit. They can get all 8, but I'm going to share a third one just for today. And this is another one people overlook a lot, is understanding your competition. Now, competition is something that is different for everyone, but most of us don't think about when we're trying to do things, whether it be coaching or training or helping a business or doing some kind of empowerment coaching or trying to work with clients to solve problems with technology. We have competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't know where the market is at as far as pricing for what we do, if we're just kind of guessing, we could either be charging too much and drive people away, or we could be not charging enough at all and leave money on the table. We also could fall behind on what's current. I think about this. Both of us work with a lot of people that are into empowerment and mindset shift. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of great, talented speakers who deliver great content when it comes to what you can do to empower people and be a person of influence. But they don't know what to charge. They don't know how they should package it, how it should be marketed, and they kind of guess and do it themselves. If you have a VA that's maybe once or twice a month going out there and looking at your competitors for pricing and new topics and kind of feeding you that information, it keeps you current and it keeps you right where you want to be as far as your profitability. And that's, I think, another key area that people overlook, that a VA can do, something that can be done on a regular basis to give you that intelligence to make you better informed so you can make the right choice for your business.
Awesome. This is such valuable information for people to have, and I'll just add that when you're consistently working with the same VAs, they get to know your business and they're just as invested
Absolutely.
in your business as you are. And so then they start to make recommendations on ways that you can elevate in their specialty, in what they're helping you with. So they might start to look at trends on how to leverage YouTube or trends on how to do market research or stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's the diversity in hats makes the better closet.
Yep.
I just made up that analogy.
Yes.
It's pretty cool though, right?
I love it. It's really good. Yeah, it is. It's a great analogy. So we talk about having to wear many hats as an entrepreneur. No, you want to have a bunch of hats that you can pick and choose which one you want to wear, but that doesn't mean they're not being worn by somebody else. You can delegate the wearing of those hats to your virtual staff. So, cool. One last thing I want to share, just a kind of like that I just popped in my head. I thought really cool, is that when you're thinking about running your business and you're trying to figure out how to be successful online, you're trying to figure out how do you grow your network and your customer base. One of the things that I think is super important about the VAs that I work with and the ones that that you work with is they're part of our brand. And you mentioned this in the beginning. It's important to have a VA who, it may take a little while for them to learn your business, but once they do, they become part of you. And I look at VAs as being somebody who I want my VAs to learn our customers' voices. So basically, things get done and people don't know it's not you. And I'll give you a great example of this. It was quite common for what we do with our clients, is that a lot of people don't manage all their social media accounts. They don't manage your LinkedIn or their Instagram. Maybe they're on Facebook a few times, but if you have a VA who's managing that for you and who learns your voice and creates images and shares content like you would do, people think you're always doing something. It really adds to your personal brand as an entrepreneur to be everywhere. And that's what a VA can really free someone up to do, is make it look like, wow, he's here, he's there, he's this, he's that. Really creates the buzz around your business. So
yeah. Well, you know this about me, and I don't like being in the public eye as much as I am in the public eye. I mean, for me, it's a means to an ends kind of situation. And I look at social media like it's the tabloids. It's totally necessary to get exposure and to get yourself out there and to be in the news. But I just hate reading about myself. So, so having employees do it for me allows me to be
right.
everywhere and not have to read any of it. And in fact, I actually was chatting with somebody back from my corporate days who I hadn't spoken to in years. And he was like, "Oh, I saw your new LinkedIn profile. It's totally hip." And I was like, "It is great." I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the beauty, right? Of having, in your case, you've got 3 VAs, right? You've got a left hand, a right hand, and part of your brain are all delegated to somebody else. So it really frees you up to do what you want to do. And I've seen your business really, grow a lot the last few months because you have a team that, like, as you mentioned before, you had to delegate to a third person because you were getting bogged down in a few things. I'm in the same boat. I've added a couple of VAs myself to help my own part of the business lately because you get the right people and you get that synergy going. And like we both said, it's like magic because people think you're doing all this stuff and you're like, oh yeah, I better check it out because I didn't know I was doing it.
Right.
It's a good feeling to have, right? So,
right.
So cool.
I leverage both sides. Like for social media, I want people to think it's me, even though it's not. Even though if they ask me, I'll tell them it's not me. But for everything else, I want the team to get the credit that they deserve because they are truly fantastic. So kudos to my entire team because they are all geniuses in their own niches. And I delegate a lot to them, and they are also invested, and I'm invested in them, and it's just a marriage made in heaven, so to speak.
Cool. Yeah, and you have a great team. So I've been able to interact with all three of your VAs, and they're pretty wonderful. And one of the things, if I can, kind of segue to more a little bit how to contact us. The beauty of my VAs is most of them have been with me for quite a while. I have very low turnover. I have really talented people. And when you do have, a certain skill set you need, I know where to find them. And that's really kind of what, I think makes Sonic VA a little bit different than a lot of virtual staffing businesses. I mean, anyone can go on Fiverr or Upwork and get a VA, and it's like a 50-50 crapshoot if you're going to get somebody that's going to give you quality. But with me, I've been fortunate to have a much better run. And so my company, Sonic VA, if you want to go to sonicva.com, sonicva.com, you can see a little bit about what we do, but I don't offer everything out there on the website because I found that if I did that, it would be a mile long because we can literally do anything that someone wants. So the best way to get a hold of me, and when I mentioned to get a hold of me, I also want to offer your audience a special discount, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. So what you can do to actually engage, if you want to get a VA like Melanie has and a VA with me, you can just do a text opt-in. Just go to text the word data, DATA, to 26786. Send that, and then you'll get a reply back that will be a form, simple form, just fill out basically a couple things you're thinking about delegating. And then in the comments for that form that you fill out and submit, mention Melanie, just put Melanie in the comments, and you'll get 10% off your first 40 hours as being part of Melanie's audience. So that's a gift I want to give your audience because I know how special people are like us that are able to do things together, and anyone who works with you is getting top-notch stuff. And so if I can help them as well, it's a win for me as well.
Yeah, and it's a win for me as well because your people are top notch, and like I said, the bottleneck is usually in people not being able to answer my to-do lists, of which I have many, in order to be able to learn enough to optimize their businesses. And I challenge people to really think hard about what you can delegate because, like I mentioned earlier, I actually took the leap and delegated those specific tasks on my plate that I felt like only I could do, that the actual genius that I'm selling, right? I actually hired somebody to help do that for me because it's the only way for me to scale, right?
Absolutely.
And so as an added bonus, I created a long time ago, actually, a PDF on how to work with VAs effectively and efficiently. And it talks about things like security and task management and communication and things like that. So it's a great accompaniment to everything that Daniel's teaching you. And so I'll put all of this information that we've given today in the description. Any last words you'd like to give the audience, Daniel?
No, I just think that, if you're somebody who's at a point where you want to scale, you have something that you really believe in, you have two choices. To scale, you either need to build a system that relies on really good people or relies on technology. And between you and I, we cover them both. And so, I think, and they complement each other very well because there's very few businesses you can automate everything. And there's very few businesses you can survive having people do everything. You've got to find that happy marriage. And I think that's why we work so well together and why we've enjoyed having so many great talks is that we know that the best businesses are the ones that merge the technology and the people in a way that really, really optimizes things. And that's what you're all about. So again, I'm so thankful to be on your show. It's always a pleasure to spend a few minutes talking about this kind of stuff because, for those of you that don't know, Melanie and I, we could sit and nerd out on this kind of stuff for hours and just share our, experiences with certain, apps and how we use this and how we do this. And so anyway, long story short, definitely, if you're looking to grow your business, we can help.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's been such a pleasure to have you here. And it's not even far-fetched to say spend hours, because we have literally spent hours, in fact, days. We've spent days just totally geeking out on data and analytics and artificial intelligence and which is another show we have to do, because you can talk at length about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and talk about bots for YouTube, right? That's something that I'm doing a lot of research on. It's funny that we talked about earlier, but anyway, that's a new show, so we'll get to that someday down the road.
Yeah, okay, so teaser for another show in the future is all about AI and neural networking and bots and all this great stuff, because, lots. All right, awesome. Thank you once again, Daniel, for joining us, and thank you to our audience for joining us. Once again, if you liked what you saw here today, and if you want more free information, more free goodies, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so that you'll be reminded every Friday when we bring you something new for free. Ciao, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.